So you tell me, what do you think? Can you build a cheaper tuned by STI BRZ yourself with aftermarket parts for less than $34,000? You let me know. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name is Hanson. Thank you so much for tuning in. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the 2018 Subaru BRZ TS. TS stands for Tuned by STI. It is not a BRZ STI. That's probably never going to happen, but this has some improved bits over the normal BRZ. This has the Performance X dampers, the adjustable wing, got some upgraded wheels, and it's got some nice tires as well. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's first start off with the good. Now, if you've subscribed to this channel, then you know that I've been driving a modified 2013 Subaru BRZ. I've been building a solo spec coupe. That's a spec autocross series for the BRZ and the FRS between 2013 and 2016. Now, for that car, I basically did some modifications like changing the suspension and also adding some aerodynamic bits to it. So one of the changes that I've made is I've added the Series Blue aerodynamic kit, and that's what you first find here with the Subaru BRZ TS. Is you get the front lip, the side skirts, and the rear aprons from that Series Blue. Of course, this is for the new modified front bumper that's been around for a couple of years now, but the overall package just looks really, really good. And some of the other visual upgrades is the rear spoiler. Now, it's a fairly high park bench sitting on your trunk, but it's not as bad as you think. You would think that normally if you have a spoiler sitting on your trunk, it cuts the rear windscreen's view in half. And I know this because I've driven something with a huge wing, the 2006 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 9. It had a huge rear wing, and it cut the view of the rear windscreen in half. And important cars like police cruisers, it would block out where their lights are sitting, so you can't really tell who's behind you. But with this spoiler, it sits a little bit higher, so you get a better view of who's behind you. Another visual upgrade which I love about this car is the black wheels. It goes great with the black side skirts, black front lip, and black rear apron. One of the things that I despise about the standard BRZ or the standard 86, and if you're interested to see the 86 version of this review, I'll link to it up here. But what I despise about the twin platform is just how dinky the wheels are. The stock wheels are 17 by 7. It sticks so much in from the fenders that it just looks super puny. Now, Subaru and Toyota knows about their customers, so their customers are probably going to swap out the wheels as soon as they sign on the dotted lines. Buy something a little bit bigger, lower the ride height a little bit, but with the stock black rims that you find here, it's 18 by 7.5 inches, so it's a little bit wider. It looks a little bit more aggressive. The overall package just looks racier. The other good thing about this car, of course, is the Brembo brakes. It looks so good. The red calipers really stand out against this black and white backdrop. This is a fairly lightweight car. You don't really need to have the beefy Brembo brakes to bring this to a halt, but any improvement over the stock car is a welcomed addition. Another good thing about this car is the interior. I totally love the red leather and the Alcantara on the seats. It adds a very upscale look. Also, looking around the interior, you've got the nicer switches, you got the push start button, you've got this red accent plastic piece on top of the gear shifter, and overall the red stitching on the steering wheel and the leather shift boot just adds a nice sporty touch to the overall finish. And who can't forget the nice leather finish on the dash here in front of the passenger seat. Another nice upgrade is this infotainment screen. Gone is the old plastic screen, tiny little display. The screen is glass, it's nice to the touch. The infotainment layout has been improved slightly, but it's totally usable. You don't have the immediate urge to rip out the stock unit and put in something a little bit more usable and user-friendly. Acceleration, you still get a little bit of that torque dip where you shift and you just lose that momentum. I guess that's the first bad of this car is, like you already know, this is a 205 horsepower, 150 foot-pounds Boxer 4. It's the same power plant that's been around for a while. It had a power bump a couple of years ago, so it's the same exact unit. This is a very reliable engine compared to some of the problems that I've had in my 2013 Subaru BRZ. So very reliable engine, very low center of gravity as most Boxer engine cars. But yeah, there's still no oomph, and you already know that. The low power comes hand in hand with BRZ or 86 ownership. So I'm not even gonna say that that's a bad thing, just to really mention that yes, this is the same car that you've known about for the past 6 years. Another good thing about this car is the performance sax dampers. This is perfect for like street driving. It soaks up the bumps pretty well. It's fairly aggressive. There's a little bit of body roll, but not as much as like the stock suspension setup. Again, if you're a fan of this channel, then you know that I've been driving the Solo Spec Coupe BRZ. That has Kody yellow adjustable dampers. That is a lot more aggressive and is better for an autocross setup. But if I were to take this to the autocross, I'm sure that I'd be pretty happy. And the nice thing about this event that I'm attending currently, the IMPA Test Days, IMPA is the International Motor Press Association. It's a conglomerate of PR folks and also journalists and other YouTubers to kind of come in and test drive all of these cars. The cool thing about this event is that it happens at Monticello Motor Club. And if you don't know about Monticello, I'm going to link to them down below, but it's basically a country club for automotive enthusiasts. They've got a beautiful track. It's well maintained. It's a very technical track. It's very high speed. It used to be an airstrip like most racetracks, but this time of year the foliage is awesome. The air is just crisp. It's beautiful. It's beautiful driving weather. And I'm gonna take this to the racetrack, and I want to show you the clip of that right now. Okay, let's do it. This thing should be like that. Oh boy. Is usually my mark, but this is such a lightweight vehicle I could have braked a little later, I guess.
brakes feel?
Really, really good. And these tires are nice too. Of course, they have some heat in them. Ooh, all right. See, they blew by this thing too. Of course, it was like extremely tight. All right, so I've talked about the good. Let's talk about the bad. The first bad is this could be a bad, it could be a good, but I'm not a fan of the gear change. The final drive gear change, that is, the differential gear. It went up to 4.3 versus 4.1 from a couple of years ago. So this is the same exact hardware change that's found on the 86 is also in here. The 4.3, the shorter gearing ratio, means that you're going to be, the power comes on a little bit more quickly, which is good. But the trade-off is that you lose a little bit of top speed, and you also hear the engine more. So driving on the highways, just coming from the BRZ, I find myself wanting to shift to a non-existent 7th gear. And also when you're autocrossing this thing, your top speed is going to be lower for 2nd gear. Now, if you don't know about autocross, it's a very low speed but so frenetic type of racing that you only stick around 2nd gear. And for autocrossing, performance of 2nd gear is fairly important. So given that you lose a little bit of top speed, that means that you're going to be shifting a lot more often. So when you're shifting, you're robbing yourself of some speed and also some precious seconds, which is what autocross is all about. What all forms of racing is all about, but even more so in autocross. Another bad thing I don't like about this car is the sound of the exhaust. I really can't tell the difference. It's very tame. It's a lot like the stock exhaust. It probably is the stock exhaust. This is a Subaru car, right? You want to hear that rumble. Unfortunately, this has a more proficient equal length header, so you're not going to get that rumble sound, but at least put a meter sounding exhaust back there. You know, this is tuned by STI, so give it a little bit more gusto. Gusto not just in the power plant, but also in the sounds in the back. Pretty plain. But I guess, again, Subaru knows their customers, and that's going to be one of the first things that they yank out once they buy this car. All right, so I've talked about the good, I've talked about the bad. Let's talk about the ugly. And you know this was coming. The ugly is the price. This thing costs $34,000. And is it worth $34,000? Well, not really. Because if you took a stock BRZ and did all the performance upgrades yourself, you may have a much better package in the end for less money. But I mean, I guess this is warranted, so that's a big plus. But 34 grand for a 205 horsepower, albeit fantastic handling car, that's a tough pill to swallow. Because all you really get out of the TS is the upgraded brakes, the 4-piston caliper up front and 2-piston Brembo calipers in the back. You get the nicer looking wheels. You get the Sachs Performance dampers. You get the aero kit. Is that worth the premium over a stock BRZ? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I don't think so. So you tell me, what do you think? Can you build a cheaper tuned by STI BRZ yourself with aftermarket parts for less than $34,000? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, let's wrap up this video right here. This has been the good, the bad, and the ugly of the 2018 Subaru BRZ TS. Let me know your thoughts, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel by now, please do it right now. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified anytime we make a new video on these press cars, on any sort of driving events that we normally go to, and of course our project cars. We have so many things going on the Shifting Lanes channel, and I thank you so much for your attention and watching all the way till the end. Anyway, let's wrap it up right there. My name is Hanson, and I will see you next time.